I'm going to try to help you make sense of all the advice that's online right now so you can figure out how to actually get clients into your business. Because there's a lot of advice out there, and sometimes it's hard to find the caviar among the fish eyes, right? So let's look at this. This man here is saying ManyChat is a cheat code. My main traffic source comes from using ManyChat on Instagram with story replies and for comments under post. Highly recommended. So when I look at this advice, I already know what kind of business this guy runs and what kind of following he has. I'm gonna reveal it to you in a moment. But the truth is that people usually give advice without qualifying it. In other words, something might work for one person, but it might not work for the other person because they have very different circumstance and a different kind of business too. So if you're a consultant and you offer design, engineering, or systems services or something along those lines, or maybe you're a virtual assistant, then you might look at this and you might go, oh, hey, ManyChat, okay, I will just set that up on my Instagram. And if you don't know what ManyChat is, you will be even more enthralled by this idea. And you'll go look it up and you'll be like, oh, maybe that's the solution. But all it is really an automation system, a bot that replies to comments and replies to specific keywords, and it can engage in a pre-built sequence, conversational sequence, or send something, some kind of link to the person in the DMs. So you might think, oh my gosh, okay, that is the way to drive traffic to my business. I have to try this. And then you set it up and then it doesn't work and you're disappointed. But you know what? It most likely wouldn't have worked for you in the first place. So now let me reveal what kind of business this man runs and why this works for him. So check this out. Just like I thought, this person here is an influencer. He's got a large audience. Take a look at this. He's got 147,000 followers. His account is massive. And because his following is massive, it's very easy for him to generate thousands of leads. Literally, he will just put some word under this reel and he'll get dozens of people commenting with the word, activating the automation, and getting all of these DMs for him. So it's very easy for him to generate leads because he already has a ton of leads. Next thing is that he's in the business of being an influencer. So most of the time, folks like this monetize by having some kind of course or membership where you can learn about replicating their skills and building an audience and building online influence, which is awesome, but it's not the same kind of business you have as a consultant. Because as a consultant, what you do is actually delivering a service and you are actually working on implementing something for your clients. You are not necessarily an educator. You are not someone who is selling a course. And maybe that's something you'd like to do one day too, but if your bread and butter is services and you don't have a big following on social media, this solution is not for you. Let's move to the next one. Okay, so over here we have another person telling us about utilizing GHL, which stands for Go High Level. It's a CRM. It's a client relationship management system for short, but it's basically how you track your leads and potential clients. And he recommends to use that to streamline your social media efforts across all the platforms, which will save you time and enhance your reach. Because a lot of people out there believe that by being on more platforms, they can increase their reach increase their presence and therefore have more traffic and more leads, which in theory makes sense, doesn't it? But in practice, as someone who has made this mistake when I just started my business, it only creates an overwhelming mess, which you somehow have to manage. And if, for me, I was on 3 social media platforms at the same time, I'm actually looking back at it now kind of shocked that I managed to even deliver client work and coach people while creating content and figuring out how to post content consistently on a daily basis on 3 different platforms. Because mind you, the content formats are a bit different on each one of them, even if you are repurposing and even if you have an auto scheduler. So this argument in theory makes sense. Yes, if you're in more places, you're more visible, right? But because you have limited capacity and limited resources, you just end up spreading yourself thin over a wider range of platforms. So what I did at one point is I just focused. I picked a platform that I wanted to go with, and I focused on creating content for that platform and really making sure that's my traffic source. So right now I'm on Instagram. That's my predominant social media platform. And it has freed up a ton of time for me and a ton of mental capacity because I'm not overwhelmed anymore. And I don't feel like I have to show up everywhere and post on every platform. So if you are not someone who is already at a level where you are making 30K a month, there is no reason that you should be branching out into being on all the platforms and increasing your visibility level on all the platforms, because it's a little bit like having a handful of marbles, right? Imagine holding a handful of marbles and then just, scattering them all over the room versus just dropping them in a bowl and they're all concentrated in that one bowl and you can see where they are. And that's what your lead generation effort is going to be like. You should prioritize keeping it simple in these early stages versus being everywhere. So pick a platform that you think is best and stick to it. So once again, if this business owner here is maybe potentially already at a level in his business where he has the capacity and the traffic and the team to be on multiple platforms, that's great. But if you're watching this video and following me, you are probably not there yet. Let's move on to the next piece of advice. All right. So this man here is recommending to go all in on organic content. Organic content is you just posting. You're posting videos, you're posting blog posts, whatever. Maybe you have a website and maybe you are writing on Medium, maybe you're on LinkedIn posting, maybe you're on Instagram. Whatever you're doing, you're posting, right? You're creating content and you are waiting for people to come to you. You're waiting for your content to bring people in. And when I started my business, that's exactly what I was doing for a long time. And I wish somebody came earlier and told me that that is not going to get me consistent flow of leads for my business, because organic content is only as good as your understanding of your niche and their specific needs and how targeted your content is to those, as well as how targeted your understanding of the right keywords to use and kind of fitting into a niche on that platform, so your content does become searchable and findable. If you don't have the clarity on all that right now, then your organic content is probably not performing the way you want it to perform. You're probably getting a couple of likes here and there, 100 views, 200 views, but it's nothing that is out of the ordinary, and it's not really driving massive traffic to your content. And so instead of watching videos and learning about creating organic content and trying to get clients through organic content, it's much more prudent figuring out ways to drive traffic that are a lot more reliable, a lot more hands-on, and aren't about just sitting and praying and hoping that you will get some people coming in. And once again, I really wish somebody explained that to me early on. And so, just like this person here is asking about the types of posts they're making on Instagram, it doesn't matter. Honestly, it doesn't matter, because organic content, just posting content, is not going to be the medium that is gonna drive consistent, reliable traffic to your business. So you can just relax and post stuff if and when it makes you happy and it's fun for you, but in the meantime, you should be figuring out how to actually have a consistent lead flow pipeline in your business, which is what I set up for you inside of the Dopamine $2 program. So just a quick introduction. I'm Anna, aka Dopamine Queen, and I've helped companies make millions with strategy consulting, but what brings me true joy is helping solopreneurs scale without sacrificing